Hi guys. It's been a while because I have been having problems with my big array. And last time I spent a whole evening trying to get this to actually work. As you can see, I put some baking parchment onto it to kind of diffuse it a bit. It's not ideal, but it will work for now. And I can always later I plan to have maybe an acrylic sheet over this that will diffuse it more evenly and won't come loose so easily. But for now, this will do just fine. So let me show you what I didn't want to do, but end up doing it anyway. And that is making this whole thing. I'm kind of still mad about it. Because at first I was hoping this would work and it didn't. And I started diving into codes with the idea, is it because array is not inherently in Python? You need to like add a plugin to do it. But I couldn't get this plugin to work at first. Later it turned out I couldn't get it to work because this is MicroPython that I'm working with, and the plugin that I was trying to put in was actually just meant for Python and not MicroPython or CircuitPython. So I figured, well, then there should be something similar to that for MicroPython. There is, but I didn't get it to work here either. I just couldn't figure out how to add that to this build that I have. I tried putting a different image on here that did have ULab, I think it's called, for MicroPython. And I don't know if it worked. Because the reason of it was the thing that I uploaded, the image, didn't have the hub 75, which I need to actually control the chip that controls the whole board. So, and I am not good enough yet to understand how to import dependencies, because you do have like manage package and plugins in Tony, but it just doesn't work. It just won't load and gives me errors and doesn't continue at all. So I kind of gave up on that and instead did the hard thing, which is create the array. And you can feel it as I'm trying to scroll through this. The program actually has delay, and the moment I clear it, it goes a bit better, but it's still horrible. And when I'm trying to run it, it takes a few seconds longer to actually show up on the screen. Which is terrible, but fine. You might also recognize that I've already done the background in the fades. And I'll do that with the example of the date. I'm cutting up date and time because I want the date to be most likely down here and the time here. But I'll explain that later. But what I did for the color of the background color, because now I can actually, that's the reason why I had to make that big array in the first place, so I can actually reference it. to go like, okay, if there is no color here, then look at what the color is now and multiply that, or take that away from the color that I'm adding, something like that, to kind of make it see-through. And at first I thought I needed to like store the color in a different variable and then add to it, but I figured, is that true though? And it turns out not. So which makes me very happy, because I don't have to do the extra step of going to see what the color is first, putting that into a variable, and then assign it back into the array using that, because I could just say like this let has to be the color that I want plus the color that it is now, which is great because it saves a lot of space in coding, and I love it that way. Right now, the sky color, I am going to do something with that. And I think I might actually do that today. Not sure yet, but I might. With the sun, similar. First, I put the original code here in as a comment, but the matrix set RGB used to be like simple. You say X, Y, the position of the LED, and then what the red, green, and blue color is. But now we have to make them separate. Now we have to go like, okay, red is this, blue is green is this, and blue is that. Which is fine, which is okay. Few extra line of code, but not that horrible. For the moon, we actually did the same thing as the sun. It's not that difficult. And why did I didn't do that at first with the idea like the moon is only, you only see the moon out there if the sky is dark and maybe even black. But later, so it didn't have priority, even though I did know that some days, like today and yesterday, the moon will actually be in the sky during the day. So I had to do it anyway, but I still thought we could wait until later. As with the ground, we made it of zeros and ones for now. And all I had to do is say, oh, if that shape is 0, then just leave it. And if it's a 1, or in this case, if it's more than 0, grab the color that's associated with 1. Which gave us this nice background. And it's already set up for one of the next steps. And the draw, well, because we're not using the matrix set command, we have to actually make a function that goes through the entire array that we've just altered and made, and just draw every let one by one. And that's kind of where we are right now. And as I expected, while I was doing this, I still got XY problems, and I'm going to run into that a few more times, most likely. I just have to keep in mind that that might be a thing. If something doesn't work, that might be the reason why it doesn't work. We can get rid of this one. I'm using Tony as this program. I wish I was using another one so that I could just actually collapse things like this bloody big ass array. Would be nice if I could just collapse it and have like a view of the code that way, but for some reason I can't do that in this one. Wish I could. So I have been busy with some ideas of what do I want the background to be like. So I kind of made drawings with the two ideas. The one idea of the valley, kind of like a valley, and the other one as like a hilltop. But this was too arty actually. So I made another idea with, nope. Let's do it like this. Oh, come on. Aww. It got away from me. I'm using markers that actually disappear with friction. And I put something warm on it, and that's why it's gone. But you still kind of get the idea. This was like the valley. Come on, focus. This would be like what the valley would kind of look like. Because it's an array, or it's a matrix. It's more pixel art than actual photographic realistic image. And this would be the hilltop. And I started asking people, well, which one would be nicer? And most people went for this one. And I kind of agree. I like it more with the sides. And I can put like the numbers in it. And it would be more nicer, I think. It would pull it all together. But before I'm actually going to do this, I want to try something else first. And that is by making the sky a little bit more nicer. Now it's just one color. Come on. Right now it's just one color. But for another project, I kind of made, let's see if I can find it again. I made like a way to, let's see if I can get it first. Yeah. Uh-oh. He can't find it because I moved it. I kind of use Photoshop to figure out how I want the sky colors to be by taking actual pictures of the sky. Damn, where can't I find it? Ah, there it is. I found it again. By taking actual pictures of the sky during certain times of the day, and use that as a kind of reference. Like, this is in the morning, this is during the day, this is when the sun is going down, and this is at night. And made like different step colors. Eventually we're going with this one, just the 5, but I'm going to use that as reference. And I actually None of them down. Yeah. Okay. In how what the color combination would be for the let. So that's the reference I need as the color. What are you thinking? Did I go from top to bottom, or did I go from bottom to top? Should be easy enough to figure out. Right? So I think I went from... Yeah, it looks like I went from top to bottom. Okay. So I'm using this reference and this color scheme to decide what my values of the light is going to be. So what I want to do is make them correspond here so that the light has a certain gradient as it's going through. Which would be nice if it could do that, and we would have like not such a solid color. It would give it more depth if I could get it to work. And it would be nice to have that before I put in the background. And one of the other things that I want to do, once I have found a way to make those colors flow into one another, is to actually link them to the position of the sun, which would be the most obvious thing to do because the light is coming from the sun, basically. So that if the sun is here, I would get like the dawn thing, day, dusk, and night. And then I only have to control the position of the sun and not have to worry about what the sky is doing because it would always be correct correspondent to the sun. Basically. Or at least that's the idea. And I had already figured out on which row they should all be. Okay. Cool. And I had different ideas of how to approach this. What was my idea? I actually put it down. I wrote it down for once. Yes, I would make 5 variables, and every variable would be one of the colors. And I was thinking about making a list that actually tells how much % of one color it needed to be, and use that as a reference that the remaining should be the other color. Technically. So that was how I was thinking about this. But thinking about it this way is, yeah. Let input the first color first. Because this is only how I figured it would do for like dawn. That it would go, but then from dawn to day, there would also need to be a fade. I haven't figured out how to do that yet. But I think it's already a big leap if I can get this to work. So let's give these things a name. Okay. Sky color A. It's gonna be, should I? I went from top to bottom, didn't I? Yes, I did. Cool, cool, cool. B, C, D, E. Technically, I could do the same thing as I did with the sun. You know, make an array and just that one and make it go that way. But no. I'm going to do it this way. And now I'm thinking, when I have to make it fade to another time of day, it's not gonna work. And I'll need to do it anyway. Which would make me sad. Okay, we have our colors. So now we have to make different for loops. We have like one for loop to go the entire way, and now we only wanted to go like a quarter way. And the fade list. Fade list. How would I do that? I'm calling it a fade list. It's 100% first. I'm rounding it to the closest, because I don't think you would notice it that much. But I'm also afraid that in certain points, that certain steps for a LED might be too small for the LED color, and that it will actually like turn very, it won't fade very beautiful, but will fade in steps, is something I'm afraid of that will happen. But I'm hoping for the best. And that it can actually handle it. But I'm kind of scared that it can't. Okay. So we have the variables that we need. And then we go range of width. I'm gonna hard code it for now. Should be 8. Here is where X and Y is going to be important though. And we're going to have to see if this works as intended. Can I comment you out? Comment out. Good. 2, 8. And this is going to be, what did I say? That's Y. It's going to be color, sky color. Color A. I didn't use camel casing. Let's do it, because I do it everywhere else. It would be stupid for me not to do it. Okay. Times fade list. Y, it has to be Y. And now it gets the wonky bit. It's going to be B, but it needs to be the opposite. So it needs to be 100 minus that one. I would be surprised if this would work in one go. But I don't mind being surprised. I really don't. Please surprise me. I won't mind. I won't be angry. 2. 1. 1. Okay. Fingers crossed. Yeah. Yep. It New Year. I'm gonna turn some things off though. First, I don't need a sun or a moon or a ground or a date. So that should already. It looks weird. It looks like there's green in between it. Wait, let just for good measure make it weird. Okay. It's hard to see on camera, but the first row is all like teal, cyan, and then it becomes very white. So I'm going to do this first. Don't know if this will help. Oopsie. Okay, it's right orientation, still very wrong color. Let's make the difference as big as possible. Ooh, okay. It is making a fade. But it's doing it so weirdly. It could be because, like I said, that it can't fade pretty enough. That it will do it, like, in steps. That's what it's looking like. Though it's teal, white, pinkish, red. So, kind of to make it easier to see. It's not exactly a pretty fade. Let's see if I can, if it might be to do with the fade list. Maybe. But it is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's correct. Can I change into something else? Just for reference. What happens if I do it this way? Okay. Wow. Okay. Now it's very obvious. Blue, magenta, all the way to red. Okay. So it's not really mixing, is it? It's going like full A color, then a mix of A and B, and then B color. What is it giving me? Maybe I can... Oh. It is going through it. I need to do it here. Okay. That looks more like colors that I need. Okay. I put in a print of the fade list as it goes through Y every time. And I can see it is working like it should. But am I doing something wrong with my math? No, I'm not. I don't think I am. sky color A times fade list plus sky color B times, wait, then 100 minus fade list so it should work out this first, which would be, let's grab the second step would be 14. This one then would get called out. Or is it because there's a 0 in there? Could it be because there's a 0 in there? If I make it a 1. No, doesn't make a damn difference. Okay. So, right now, which color should we pick? We pick red. Okay. A is 0 at this point times the fade list would be that one's 14 would be 96 plus color B would be 100 times 14. Oh. Dude, I already told it here that I should... It's not times. It's times. You need to... It's actually divide by, but I don't divide by, so it has to be times 0 dot... Oh, man. Okay. So yeah, it was my math. Okay. Oh. Sometimes it's a good thing if you could just write it out. This should work. Though I'm still scared of using zeros in this, because you shouldn't divide by zeros. What are you going to give me now? You're going to give me an error. Divide by 0. Woohoo. Okay. What can I do mathematically to turn this into that? Or is there a way that I can say... Or I could turn my fade list into a float instead of an integer list. I don't know if that's how I make it into a float list, because I live in Europe and we actually use the comma usually for this. But yeah. Okay, let me show you what I'm doing. I'm turning the integer list, which was my fade list, into a float right now, so that I can actually get it back to multiply by instead of divide by. Because then I won't get this error. Please run. Run? Oh, you run. You're running. Ooh. And it's a nice fade. Huh. It's not really the color that I was expecting, though. But also, if I look at the shell, is it giving me weird things? Because it needs to do this instead. That's what's making the fade so interesting. But it's a nice fade. Well, you can hardly see it, but it's a nice bluish pink going to reddish pink. So it's actually a nice fade. Does this look more like what I'm going for? Yes, this does. Oh, that's pretty. Woo! That's nice. That's what I'm looking for. I'm happy. Yeah. Cool. Cool. So if I would bring it back to the color that it's supposed to be. And I don't really have to be afraid of having a 0 in there now, because I'm not dividing anymore. I have to. I know this is not ideal to do right now. Ooh, baby. No, you can't really see that big of a difference. But then again, the difference in color is not that big for these two. But it already has a bit of a fade in there, which is nice. Okay. Let's continue. Because that was one. Now we need to do another one. And this is also going to be in a range of 8, but it needs to be y plus 8. I might be off by 1. but we'll find that out pretty fast. And now we're doing color B. To color C. Give me a beautiful sky. Oh, this is making me giddy. Oh, I like this. This is good. Wait, let me... I'm getting warnings of low battery. Okay. And I'm not off by 1. This is good. See. And this would then be 16, I guess. No, 14. No, 16. Yeah, and I believe the print. So I'm gonna take that out for now. God, this is beginning to look nice. And we should get more into yellow now. Yellow should be the end color. It's 24. Oh man, it really looks nice. Cool. Let me put in ground. Even though ground, it doesn't really look pretty. It doesn't really look pretty right now, but it kind of gives an inkling. Ooh. Yep. Yep. That's looking good. That's looking nice. And the sun coming up here and then going down there. Oh man. I like this color. I like this fade. Okay. So I'm thinking and I'm laughing to myself with the idea of the sky colors. I could put them in an array. Again, with the arrays. With the idea of making a sky color array that goes like dawn, day, dawn, noon, dusk, night, and put all the colors in there, then I don't have to like make this list every time, and I can just reference which one they should pick, especially when I have to fade between one and the other. Oh man. And I have to take it from the position of the sun. And how many stages am I going to do that, though? Let me Google something. I want to know... I think I already heard it, but I just want to know it even better. Making some stupid assumptions. Because on my phone, I can see how much daylight there is. So this year, the longest day was on June the 21st, and it was 16 hours and a half. So the longest day was 16 hours and... Okay. The shortest day should be in December. It's not giving me... It's not telling me what the shortest day is. Do I really need to go into an API for that? I know that the shortest day of the year is in December, and it's most likely December the 21st. Yeah, winter solstice is on the 21st of December. Cool, cool, cool. Okay. So that's the longest night, but shortest day of the year. Our shortest day of the year, daylight hours. When the winter solstice, solstice occurs in December. You don't need to explain it to me. I just want to know. No. The shortest day is just a little shorter than 12 hours. Okay. And then it goes to explain what a solstice is. I know what a solstice is. I just want to know... Let's go to December. Found an API for this. It's December the 21st. And the length of the day, it says it's 7 hours and 48 minutes. Okay. "48 minutes. So I can use that to figure things out. Let's say, let's round this up just for my sake. With the idea that it will take 8 hours for the sunrise to get to noon. I know that's not totally accurate, but I'm running with it. Okay. Now I could divide this again, that the fade goes like over 2. That goes 1, 2, 3. Or do I want to like overdo it and go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps? Because that doesn't make anything difficult. I could do it in like 10 steps, right? Because then I would just use another fade list and have it like go up with 10 every time. Well, in the fade list that we have now, it would be like .1. I would add up every time. That would be the easiest. But this would also set the pace as to when I would update the position. 0. So I would, between these two, I would update it 10 times. Do I think that's a good enough amount? Especially since time is not 100, it's 60. It's now I think it's easy enough to make it, because I could just calculate this first, calculate it for the noon one, and then same as I did here with the fade list, say, oh, just give me like 10% of this and 90% of the other one, and make it fade like that. I think that would work just fine. So that would be a solution for this, and that would work just fine. It's just a timing. How am I going to do this? think we should first make an array with the sky colors in it. Because I'm thinking we should actually, what would be handier, to build the sky now entirely ready or as much as possible and then do the animation of the sun? Or would it actually at this point be handier to first animate the sun so that I know how to input it in my sky function? I really want to see the sky going though. Yeah, I'm going to do that first. How am I going to do that? I'm going to give the sky an argument. And in that argument, I can say how much, at what step it's going to go. And then I can actually animate it and go like, wait 7 seconds, and then we can actually see how well it fades. Because one of the things that I'm afraid of, that every time it will update, it will come black first, and then it would draw the new color. Technically, that's not that big of a problem, but it's just not pretty. And I want this to be pretty. I want this to be very pretty. Okay, let's turn the sky color into an array first, because then it would be easier to add the rest. First, see if this works. Oop. Hmm. Mm. Okay. Is this gonna work? Of course it doesn't. Invalid syntax. What's the invalid syntax? um, this is the invalid syntax, I think. Int object isn't subscriptable? 1, 2, 4. Am I doing something? What am I doing? Is something out of range? Or is it just the list being bitchy? It's just the list being bitchy. Can it have just... Okay, it needs to have at least 2 values. Yay. To work. So, okay. This works. Cool. The other thing I'm trying to figure out is if this is bad, but I haven't made the background yet, with the idea that if this is not visible, why draw the sky to that? And maybe clamp the fade a little bit higher, but I can do that later. That's just fine. But that is a possibility I can do, because then if there's a tree up here, you can't really see the yellow. But I don't know what's gonna happen if I put in the day, if it's actually going to like fade out that way. I hope it does that. I'm just not sure if it does, but we'll see. But let's first input the rest. So we have at least 2 to play with. Because then we have to change this into a variable as well. With the idea that if the sun is before this point, it's going to be 0. If it's after this point, it's going to be 1 and 2 and then 3 on the night, and then it goes back to 0 again. Let's just already build that in. So now if I change all this, which I do, I turn day phase to 1, which is not what you're seeing right now. Because what you're now seeing is dawn, and day phase 1 would actually be noon. So let's see what the noon color looks like. That's noon. There's not a lot of difference in blue, but I guess that's what's supposed to, that's kind of right. Because, yeah. But now we can also try the other colors. Oh, great. Now YouTube is trying to blend in. Can I get this to go? Cool. Let's do it that way. That's better. Then we put it in for dusk. So make that error. I think dusk is going to be pretty. Okay, and if I turn day phase to 2, it should be dusk. Yes! Oh, that's nice. That is a very pretty color. Yay. I'm very happy. Okay, then there should be just one more, which is a night. Which I'm kind of anxious about. Okay, turn it to 3. And let's turn on the moon just for funsies. Please be pretty. You can't really see the purple, but it's okay. I don't mind. I have a nice moon, which is good. Cool. I've also figured out that I wasn't going through all the phases of the moon. I was just going from full moon to new moon, but not from new moon to full moon, which is the other way around, which I haven't made, but I should. I didn't make that full moon. Given half, quarter. Yeah, I didn't make that. Oops. I need to put that in. But we can do that later. Right now, I'm just very happy it's in there. But though you can't really, yeah. I'd put in like an extra ring around it. You can't really see it now. But the fun thing is that we turned that into a variable, didn't we? So if I would say, make it a bit brighter. Yes, it will become a bit brighter. Ha ha. These are the moments I like. I like programming. Yeah, I shall pretty. Okay. This has to circle around, though. Because the day phase should go from 0, 1, 2, 3. And what I thought I would do is like copy this and just say your face further. So it's day phase +1 and make it fade with that. But if you're on this, the +1 doesn't work anymore because this is 0 and not 4. So we have to build in something for that. I'm trying to remember what that is. Or I can always say -1, -1. And then I only have to do like the checkup here. No, I would get into the same problem. Okay. One step at a time, please. And we'll make it's not a good naming convention. But okay, we'll go from 0 to 9. Let's say 5 for now. Okay, now I have my step list. Yep. So it should be this. Times. Step list. Step face. Maybe I don't have to do the same thing here. I could just say ten minus. Right? Or just Hmm. How to make things complicated for yourself. I don't know. Do it this way. Step list. Face step. Blob. Would this even work? Or will it give me an error? No, it's not giving me an error, and it is doing something here. So it might actually be working. Let's give it a go. Ooh. Does look to be working. It's kind of yeah, it's going to night partially. Okay. Makes me wonder if I can calculate this parts of this somewhere else first, because it's such a clusterfuck now. Oh, I see. I've done something wrong. I have done something wrong. But I'll fix it in a bit. No, 2. Okay, it's not giving me an error. But it is giving me lines, though. This is the difference between the two of them. Why is that happening? Phase steps shouldn't change. But it's a clear difference. You can see the steps. There is a fade in here, which is pretty, but... Let's go to a different phase of the day. Maybe that'll give me more clear reference. Okay. So this would be the day, and the step is 5. Which should be there right now. Face of the day, face of the day. What happens if I say print me that and print me what do I say to it? I think 1 minus. That's still correct. So it is giving me half-half. Half of one, half of another. Why is the step so big? Am I not? Have I forgotten? A column somewhere. Yes, I have. Yes, I have. Okay. That's more to what we need. Nah. Dipsticks. But I think I'm doing the same problem here. Does this include everything? Yes, it does. Okay. Wait, it first needs to calculate this and then that. So maybe... Does that fix it? That fixes it. Yep, that does seem to fix it. Oh boy. Is that we have to make sure that this long formula gets calculated in order. That's why we have to make sure that the semicolons are on the correct position. Because, for instance, we want it to calculate this entire thing before it goes through and multiplies it to create the first value of like the day, and that it does the same thing over here so that we get the second value and that we can add those two together. So that's why we have a lot of semicolons. And I understand this now that I'm working on it. But I doubt if I come back to this in 2 weeks or something, if I would still know it. Oh, I most likely would have to like go through it again and go like, what was I doing? What the hell was I thinking? So, to be honest, this isn't really that legible. But yeah. Yeah. Okay. But at least we built in the phase steps already, which makes it a lot easier later on to actually change it, because then we don't have to do this stuff anymore, because it will still work. I wonder how disappointed my programming teacher would be with me. Hopefully he'll never get to see this. And if he does, I'm sorry. Going from 3. 4. Because I'm already thinking, can't I combine these for loops into something else that I don't need to change so much every time? And I think most likely I can. Can I think of how I'm supposed to do it right now? No, I can't. And if we go to step 7, for instance, will you be more... Okay. You could go to 9, I think. And 10 won't work. I think I'm going to get an error out of range. Yes, out of range. Okay. Yay. That one. So if this would be 3, which would be midnight, he's going to get in trouble because he says it's out of range, which is very true. Yeah. So, oh my, look at this time. I think I'm going to pick this up next time. Then I can ponder how I can turn this into something more manageable. Most likely put it in one for loop. And use another counter to do this stuff. Because then I only have to like have this to contend with, because everything is... No, not everything is the same. This changes with every new iteration, and this changes with every new iteration, but that can be caught up within the variable integer that keeps adding up. So yeah, let me think about that one. I can remove this because I know this will work now. And we have to figure out what we do with day phase. If day phase is 3, then this should be 0. But yeah, okay. But we have our nice fade. I like this. I like this a lot. So this is, yeah. It's beginning to get more depth, which is nice, which I like. So thank you guys for watching. And if you guys have any tips or suggestions or just want to say hi, please do. I like that. And I'm always open for suggestions when it comes to this, because you might have guessed I'm quite a noob, and half of the time I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm doing by making errors. So if you can help me along with that, let me know. But for now, until next time. Goodbye.